And we are rolling.
God, we're rolling and he leaves. He's rolling. All right. We tried. Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager with Fireside Chat number 326. And you just saw with thine eyes, Mr. Tubbs walked out as soon as I began speaking, or even a moment before. Look, he's still a puppy. That's my wife's assumption. And one day I hope he will join me in the Fireside Chat. It's a chance to share with you some of my thoughts about life and what's going on in the world and take your questions. By the way, I was on Piers Morgan, who is one of the most widely viewed hosts of a talk show in the world, in Britain. And you might find it fascinating to see me on the show talking about the Middle East with a man from the left. So I'm just letting you know, easily found, I guess, if you just put in Dennis Prager, Piers Morgan, and that should do it. There is an amazing thing happening. Well, there are so many amazing things happening that doesn't help. But this is among the more amazing. From one of the three major United States airlines, there's United, American, and Delta. United has announced, its CEO has announced that they are reserving 50% of their pilot positions in their pilot schools, and for ultimate employment as pilots, 50% will be women and people of color. So obviously blacks and whoever else is considered a person of color. I am so disturbed by this that though I have been a frequent flyer on United, really frequent, I have almost 1 million miles, not just flown, but in reserve that I could use towards upgrades and free tickets and so on. And I am on a very high status in their airline, but I am for American and Delta too. I just fly constantly. And I've had no issue with United, but I will not fly United if I can help it. Often, unfortunately, you can't help it. To get to a place, you will have to fly a certain airline. If you are in the United States and you are in Minneapolis, you pretty much have to fly Delta. We have a system in America called the hub system. And if your airline has that as a hub, then you're pretty much stuck with that airline. So why am I so annoyed? They are playing with a life and death position. The idea that pilots will not be hired on the basis of merit, but on the basis of color and sex, should bother you. And you know, I am not easily frightened. That's frightening. How could it not be? I'm choosing the person in whose hands hundreds of lives are regularly found, located, and I am being told that that person may not have been chosen because he or she was the best? Wow. What if a hospital announced that from now on, half of our surgeons will be people of color and women? Would you, if you had a choice, go to that hospital for a surgery? Of course not. I just want to remind you at this point, this is true every week. The rest of the Fireside Chat is at prageru.com. And I'm sorry about the reason, but the reason is we don't trust big tech to keep us on their media. They could pull the plug anytime they want. They do that to a lot of sites that they don't agree with. And so therefore, we're trying to just have you go to prageru.com at the outset and just watch the Fireside Chat from there. There's a PragerU app, which makes it really effortless, but the rest of this is at prageru.com. I promise you it's worth the little endeavor to just go to prageru.com and watch the rest of the Fireside Chat. Okay, see you at PragerU.